All right. See, at GS Core we don't cancel classes. Sir has some health issues because of the changed weather and everything, and he's not able to speak, I guess. So I was commissioned. I was told that this is a scheduled class, but if you are surprised, then let's take this surprise in a positive manner. He's not well, physically not capable to take a class, so I'm here because we do not cancel classes. And this class, hey, this class will be till 2:20 or 2:30, but do give me a signal as it is 2:20 because I have to rush back to wherever I belong to very quickly. Okay? And you would not want your faculty to be physically injured in a road accident. So we were doing answer writing. Uh, marker. Yes. Okay. So we had. Am I audible till last? Are you able to hear me loud and clear? 2:20 2:30 तक उसके बाद. So last time, settle down. अब इसका क्या जरूरत है? Settle down. So last time we had discussed 4 questions, but we fell short of the number of questions we had to cover. This time we are still going to. This is the last answer writing class on Plato and Aristotle. Why are we doing 2 classes? Because first of all, these are the first thinkers you are attempting answer writing. So we need more time. हाँ बोलिए. अच्छा मालूम ना, मुझे खुद लग रहा है. अरे वॉल्यूम देखिए ना थोड़ा. वो मेरे गले से पहुंच रहा है, बट माइक से जाना चाहिए. वॉल्यूम और ठीक है. So last time we had done 4 questions, but it took a lot of time because I was giving you a lot of introduction to the very process of answer writing. This time we will tackle those questions where you see the statement type questions come. See, Plato and Aristotle are a very big part of your syllabus. Why? Because if you understand them clearly, I am assuming you have understood them nicely, then you can continue to give their reference in other answers also. The other thinkers which are going to come in your way, the liberalism, idealism, even in case of whenever you talk about the whole debate of state versus rights, the whole debate of liberty, equality and justice domain, Plato and Aristotle can be quoted many ways. When you talk about Hannah Arendt, you will have to quote Aristotle. When you talk about Plato will also be quoted in Hannah Arendt. So Plato and Aristotle, they are the most difficult thinkers in terms of answer writing because they are the first thinkers. Once you are comfortable with them, then will come Hobbes, Locke and Rousseau and so on. So let's discuss a question. See, UPSC has this trend of going for fringe questions. They will portray as if the question is on some other thinker, but actually it is about the thinker which is covered in the syllabus. For example, there was a question ki discuss the nature of Socratic influence on Plato. Now this will give you an impression ki Socrates is not in syllabus and I have not studied Socrates, so how would I answer it? It is not about Socrates. It is about, simply the question is about what happened with Socrates' death. When Socrates was poisoned to death, he was in the era of democracy. So this is the root cause ki why he develops a permanent disdain for democracy. So even if you don't know what Socrates said, if you know this single linkage ki why Plato has a permanent disdain towards democracy, that is because of Socrates' death, then you can simply elaborate that this is the Socratic influence. Then you can talk about how the dialectical method evolved. When you are arriving at a concept, you are discussing with people and based on their opinion, you arrive at a notion. Unlike thinkers who simply come on the stage and say, okay, this is my concept, Plato and Socrates did not work like that. They used to ask for opinions around them, and obviously any opinion which is stated was not fully true or fully false. The conflict of opinions used to help Plato or Aristotle or Socrates arrive at a more acceptable conclusion. So the method and the disdain for democracy are very clear evidence of Socratic influence. Okay? Let's write a question on this. Socratic influence. Socratic influence is precursor to all Western political thought. Socratic influence is precursor to all Western political thought. Including Platonic thought itself, including Platonic thought itself. ठीक है. Now let's put the word limit on this question. This is a 150 words question. This means you cannot go too much into elaboration. You do not have time limit above 7 minutes. ठीक है. So what is the most important point where you would like to start? See, last time I made you write certain answers. Now this time we will talk about how do you start your answers. What are the words which you choose your answers to begin with? Because right now also I am evaluating your test series copies, the batch which is going to face mains. Even if we know that the student knows the answer, he takes way too much time to arrive at the main point. If this is the last time we had asked the question ki discuss the counter arguments, this is a high level question, you will come to that, ki discuss the counter arguments that Plato subordinates the individual against the state. Now see, this is a very pointed, very specific question which is asked, which it is very clear what it is asking, there is no doubt. But student will start talking about scheme of justice, then Popper's attack, then justification for Popper's attack. You don't need to do that. You can straight away come to the point ki what is the main content, what is the main demand, you fulfill that demand, then if you still have word and time limit left, okay, you can put in some more content, put in some more commentaries, but never wait or delay your approach too much. If you know कि Socratic influence में I know 2-3 points, you start with those 2-3 points. Our direct hit is the best introduction. There is no alternative to that. ठीक है? So you start your answer कि Socrates, write down. This is an example कि how do you handle an abstract question. Socrates was the political guru. Guru is accepted word. Socrates was the political guru of Plato, and he attempts Plato, here I am referring to Plato, and he attempts to make Socrates immortal. He attempts to make Socrates immortal. He attempts to make Socrates immortal by transforming his ideas, into a proper and complete philosophy. First point, this is your introduction. Okay, this is why Plato is always, see, you talk about Republic, sir must have told you, कि most of the time he refers as the character as Socrates. कि Socrates was having these discussions with his friends, जो भी market में they were discussing, it was Socrates is the main character. You can say कि sort of Plato is obsessed with whatever Socrates had to say. Although he did not agree, but his disagreement was not mostly philosophical. It was also based on the fact that Socrates died at the hands of democracy. So that disdain develops. So next, you have to immediately come on the next point. The death of Socrates resulted in deep disdain for democracy. The death of Socrates resulted in deep disdain for democracy. You can use this word, you can also use hate, but hate is not very appropriate. Disdain continues कि you also hate it and you are also disappointed from the idea. As if you say कि I am disdained with the UP government or Modi government or Rahul Gandhi. So you're not really hating that person. You just तुम्हारे बस का नहीं है. It's not up to you. You cannot do this. So disdain is a sort of political hatred. So he develops a disdain for, what did you write? Which eventually prepares the background for emergence of the ideal state, which eventually prepares the background for emergence of ideal state. ठीक है? Now you get this point कि to justify कि democracy is a less preferable method compared to any other government, you need to have very strong arguments. That is why he gives this argument. Write down next line. The mixture of incompetency and oratory. The mixture of incompetency, अयोग्यता. हाँ, उसी का हाँ, the same point में the second line. Don't change the bullet point. The mixture of incompetency and oratory. The mixture of incompetency and oratory resulted in a weak and corrupt state. resulted in a weak and corrupt state which needed to be replaced, which needed to be replaced which needed to be replaced with the rule of the wisest, with the rule of the wisest and best individual, with the rule of the wisest and best individual. Now, give me an idea how many top words you have already spent now? 60, 70? अरे, I have dictated you, so the number of words cannot be different. 50, 70 कैसे हो सकता है? I am speaking the words ना. So it is somewhere around halfway mark touch हो चुका है. Now the another point, see this answer has 2 points: disdain for democracy and development of the Socratic method. So you completely come to the next point now. The second point is his works show extensive use of dialectical method. His works show extensive use of dialectical method his works show extensive use of the dialectical method. You know what is dialectical method? So see again, since it is a 150 words answer, do not take the pains to describe what is dialectical method. You assume in this short amount of words the examiner will know what is dialectical method. So his works show extensive use of dialectical method, reflecting the style of dialogue, between Socrates and his pupils, reflecting the style of dialogue between Socrates and his pupils. ठीक है? Now understand this. Look, let's go back to the question. Can somebody read the question back to me? Economic thought itself. So now how many words you have covered? You have covered 80 words, right? You have 40 words left. You have to give a conclusion. Set aside 10 words for that. Now understand that this, nowhere the question said that you have to only focus on Platonic thought, entire Western political thought. So eventually, even if you don't have any content, you have to put in how Socratic influence even went beyond Plato. So have you done Marx? No, you have not done Marx. Okay? So just write down, next slide you write down. Socratic influence is also evident. Next point, Socratic influence is also evident in all thinkers who argued for an ideal state, namely Hegel. ठीक है? Why? Because Hegel says Hegel is a thinker who says the state is march of God on earth. ठीक है? इतना ही आपको जानना है. Throughout your preparation, Hegel इतना ही है. Hegel state of march on God on earth. ठीक है? Those who prepare for state for services exam उनके लिए Hegel syllabus में है. But Hegel का the relevance of Hegel is only limited to this statement. The state is march of God on earth. So when Marx will enter the stage, he will say, okay, I will prove you systematically wrong on every point. So Marx, when you will read Marx, so Hegel is just the introduction. He is a thinker who believes that state is everything good and everything divine, and Marx will systematically destroy him. So he is one of the thinkers who says that Socratic, what did you write? Socratic influence is on thinkers who argued for an ideal state, and thinkers who use the dialectical method, like Marx and Hegel, ठीक है? The rule of capable individuals, इसी में continuation, the rule of capable individuals irrespective of popular support, the rule of capable individuals irrespective of popular support is manifested in idealism as well as fascism, isn't it? As well as fascism. The disdain for democracy, on the other hand, the disdain for democracy, on other hand, gets reflected throughout the left tradition of Western thought. The disdain for democracy gets reflected throughout the Western tradition of throughout the leftist tradition of Western thought. Throughout the leftist tradition of Western thought. ठीक है? So, is there anything which you did not know in this answer except the Hegel's idea which I gave got state of See, leftist tradition, see, because we have a very short amount of word limit here. So, leftist tradition, I am saying, you are asking why we call it leftist. That is a very simple logic. If you, it is all referred from the British Parliament. British Parliament mein all the conservatives sit on the right side, those who want to preserve the order. Anybody who wants to continue with the system is a conservative or a right winger. All those who want to bring any changes, any upheaval shift, changes can be violent, non-violent, anything. Anybody who wants to change the thing is a leftist because they sit on the left side of the British Parliament. वहीं से tradition आया left wing and right wing. This is the origin point. Then it is spread. It has very different meanings. Somebody who can be a right winger in cultural terms can be a left winger in economic terms. Simply left means who want to change the system, right who want to preserve the system. ठीक है? उसी को कहा जाता है leftist are revolutionaries, rightist are counter revolutionaries. I am giving you a baby level simple definition of this. When future will teach you liberalism, fascism, Marxism and everything, this whole left and right is also a huge spectrum. Every person is slightly left and slightly right. You only know who you are. Next question. Let's go to Aristotle. ठीक है? You get the idea that this was a slightly off the track question and every single point, you look at your sentence and see, most importantly, whatever answer I have dictated you, it is from the very first page of your notes. So this first page, from only this you can create a good answer. You need not refer 5, 10 books and 16 coaching notes, that you don't need to do. Your coaching institute gave you notes from concise reading of this much only. Plus by the time you have going to for the exam, you have read fascism, you have read Marxism. So you can, from whatever you know from the whole syllabus, based on that only a very common sense point you can bring in. The dialectics was used by Marx also. Then Hegel was a big fan of the state. Then fascism says that only competent leaders, Führer and the dictator should be at the top of the things, and the whole leftist tradition thinks that democracy is nothing but a agenda so that the rich people continue to be in power. Political parties, everybody favors the rich. All of this you would already know. Without having to refer any extra source, you can handle a question on Socrates itself, Socratic influence itself. The idea is to read your notes again and again and find out how do I make an answer from this. You will not get a ready-made answer, you get that. So अपना कंटेंट को ही 10 बार करने का है, ठीक है? नेक्स्ट पॉइंट लिखिए, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. हाँ, see, knowledge is virtue वाला चीज़ है ना. Maybe you are right, but this is a conceptual domain. इसमें डॉक्टर पीयूष चौबे सर आएंगे ना, उनको पकड़ना कि सर डू आई थिंक सर इज दिस करेक्ट कि नॉलेज जो थ्योरी ऑफ नॉलेज है वो आपका जो थ्योरी ऑफ आइडियाज है, इज दिस सी इफ थ्योरी ऑफ नॉलेज का डायरेक्ट कोरिलेशन जो आपका थ्योरी ऑफ आइडियाज है उससे आप लिख सकते हो एलिगोरी ऑफ केव एंड हाउ थिंग्स हैपन, बट पॉइंट है कि इट इज नॉट अ डायरेक्ट इन्फ्लुएंस. व्हाई आई एम सेइंग दैट, क्योंकि वट एवर थ्योरी ऑफ नॉलेज Socrates refers to, knowledge is virtue, ठीक है, and whatever Plato is referring, there is a very deep, there is that correlation. But I would still say कि इस क्वेश्चन पे एक बार आप सर को रिफर करना, बिकॉज सॉक्रेट्स के थ्योरी ऑफ नॉलेज को इफ यू स्टार्ट, देखो इफ यू हैव टू push the theory of ideas, its relation with theory of knowledge in the answer. This means you will have to spend some time in explaining what both these terms are. Either I would say you can make a simple statement that the theory of ideas of Plato is a direct successor to the theory of knowledge by Socrates. Magar, before you write this statement, it's my earnest advice, get it checked by Pusher. Ki sir, is this statement universally valid? Because if it is not, then the examiner will say ki you are just pushing content on me. Sir, if Pusher says ki haan, this is actually a fact which you can make, then please enter it. Please write it. There is no problem. Haan. No, we talked about fascism. We talked about leftist tradition.
If we include Aristotle in the line with disdain for democracy logic, and then we conclude with Platoni's comment that international political thought is nothing but footnotes to Aristotle and Plato.
You can. Actually, Aristotle, I completely missed Aristotle. You can add Aristotle. See, the more number of examples you can give, it's better. If you can link him with Hobbes or Rousseau in any manner, it is okay. See, in 150 words, you have to show ki how much of his influence runs down to the very last thinker, says John Rawls. So, if you can link with your answers, this is a example of how you will progress with the question. Ki every point has to be another example. If you can make your sentences even shorter, or you can go for a simple diagram. Ki Socratic influence, keywords. If you can do that, but be sure ki the content is accurate. If you are putting this, then what you can do is, sir, say you can discuss ki sir, as per this, these thinkers, do they have Socratic influence? If sir says ki yes, you can include them in an example, please do. The more diverse your answer is, the better it is. There is no doubt on it. ठीक है? आप include कर सकते हो. Leftist tradition I covered, fascist I covered Hegel, I covered Marx, Aristotle I forgot. So Aristotle you can cover. Aristotle also is using the idea of dialectics. Then yes, you can cover it. But cross check the facts. ठीक है? Framework I will give you. Introduction I will give you. Conclusion I will give you. Facts you have to cross check from your Paul Thoughts expert. ठीक है? Next question. You satisfied? ठीक है? There is no limit. See, there is no standard best answer. If you can read and add something to it, you can also show it to me. Right now we are a little bit busy, but while I have more time with you guys, you can show your answers. Ki, sir, whatever you made me write, I have added some points on that. Is it okay? That is my job to make sure ki tell ki haan, theek hai, it is okay. Next point you write. Next question. ठीक है? Discuss Aristotle's evaluation of Platonic idea of state. Discuss Aristotle's evaluation of Platonic idea of state. Straightforward question hai. You know this content, you know. So now you know you have done Plato, you have done Aristotle. This is a merger question. Two thinkers who you have to merge. We are again putting the word limit of 150 words. Now you tell me the introduction. What is the beginning line of this question? Beginning line of answer. Somebody who can say ki, sir, I have an introduction ready with me. What is your introduction? This is a very simple question. Don't go behind the words. It is Aristotle's critique of Plato's views. ये रियल फेस क्वेश्चन का ये है कि वॉट एवर एरिस्टोटल सेड अगेंस्ट प्लेटोज थ्योरी, आपको दिस इज ऑल यू हैव टू मेंशन. हाउ डू यू बिगिन दिस आंसर? See, your introduction is correct, but it too much focuses on only the nature of government. ठीक है? If you talk about Platonic vision, Platonic idea of state, you have to talk something like Aristotle, while accepting the merit of Plato's idea, does not believe the practicability or does not believe in the something like that. हाँ. So इसको और frame करो. You are on the right track, but you have to use कि what is the basic fundamental disagreement which Aristotle had with Plato. It is not practical.
It could be the best way of politics.
हाँ.
Aristotle agrees that Plato's is best.
हाँ. Not best practical. तो इसको frame करो. हाँ, this see the line which you spoke can be your introduction itself.
Plato wants to establish a perfect society, while Aristotle wants to improve the existing one.
So all 3 points you merge. You can simply write Aristotle's practical approach comes into conflict with Aristotle's idealistic vision. This is evident by the following examples, and your answer starts. You get the idea? Simply because Plato has a idealistic vision, Aristotle has a practical approach. The keywords practical and idealistic will itself cover all topics. You need not give 5 examples. This is where Plato is idealistic and Aristotle is practical. Simply, Aristotle's practical approach comes into conflict with Plato's idealistic vision, and this is evident by the following examples. So, examiner ko in the first introduction only he knows ki you know the crux, you know the fault line of debate between the two thinkers. Now, I just have to read the example. The more example the student gives, the more marks he will get. But a basic number of marks is already allotted with the introduction line only. Why? Because the key soul of the answer you have grasped. It is a debate between a practical and an idealistic thinkers. Now, what is left to be done? Numerous examples have to be given. Simple. Task khatam ho gaya. Bar you don't have to refer to the debate. Otherwise, what do students do? They keep on referring. Since he is idealistic and he is practical, so they do this. Next point, since he is idealistic and he is practical, they do this. That's wastage of words. Okay? Now you jot down the example simply. You've given the, you write this line, Aristotle's practical vision, practical approach, Aristotle's practical approach comes into conflict with Plato's idealistic vision of state. Now, since you have already set the mood, no need to write elaborate sentences. Push your content as much as possible. First point, the rule of philosopher king is not possible as per Aristotle. Simple. Now, you can use simple language. The rule of philosopher kings is practically not possible. Second, Aristotle focuses on best practicable rather than best overall. Aristotle focuses on best practicable rather than best overall. ठीक है. Third point, property is not evil for Aristotle. Property is not evil for Aristotle. ठीक है. What is property for Aristotle? Time tested institution है और source of motivation है. It is what propels individuals to excel higher in life again and again. ठीक है. Unlike the Plato's producer, if I am a producer, I am going to be a producer for the rest of my life. So typical government attitude, बन गए producer, appoint हो चुके हैं, अब क्या? But Aristotle's individual is compelled to act better and better. Why? Because whatever he does, it benefits him directly. So private property is not evil for Aristotle. In fact, source of motivation. In fact, source of motivation. What was the question? Discuss Aristotle's evaluation. ठीक है. Next point. Those who have property have a stake in the political system, Those who have property have a stake in the political system, hence are more cautious about its stability and order. ठीक है. Aristotle also disagrees on the issue of family. Aristotle also disagrees on the issue of family, quite quickly, since for him man is a social animal. Platonic ideas appear barbaric. Platonic ideas appear barbaric. Platonic ideas appear barbaric, where man is a lone beast, where man is a lone beast, fending for his survival. Man is a lone beast fending for his survival. Fending for his survival. Roj, you are an individual alone in fending, F-E-N-D. Fending for his survival. Fending is a better word than fighting, because in jungle law you will be mostly on the defensive. When you are fighting for your survival, you don't attack. So fighting is a better word, have fending. Slowly it will get accumulated. Next point. As per next point, if family and property were so wrong, if family and property were so wrong, these institutions would have perished long ago. If family and property were so wrong, these institutions would have perished long ago. These institutions would have long ago. Next point, he is also skeptical. He is also skeptical of the capability of women and slaves. He is also skeptical or suspicious. He is also skeptical or suspicious of the capability of women and slaves. Are they good enough to be a part of decision making? Sirf Plato is not bad. Aristotle also had his issues. ठीक है? And last concluding line. Whereas Plato prefers extremes of virtue, where Plato prefers extremes of virtue and believes every individual is dominated every individual is dominated by one of the three traits, आप traits का नाम लिख दीजिए, write the names of the traits. What are the three traits? Reason, courage और appetite. For Aristotle, next point, semicolon, for Aristotle, the best individual, is a balanced one, informed with the idea of golden mean. The person whose every quality is a golden mean quality, informed with the idea of golden mean. Okay? This is your concluding sentence. See, now look at this answer. We talked about property, we talked about family, we talked about women and slaves. Our introduction was an attack between idealism and practicalism. Then we talked about the three, we start from where Plato starts, the three virtue thing. We criticize with the golden mean thing. So in a short span, every point you have to pick out which are the areas of conflict between the two thinkers. Now look, this is your homework. You go back home and find 2-3 more points. Can I find some more points to enlarge this? State and individual, best and good. You can bring out more things, and then you can also add in the book called Statesman, Plato eventually accepts. Plato will eventually arrive at a position which is acceptable to Aristotle. The rule of laws is better, and Plato does accept some practical limitations of his state. So I have given you a skeletal framework. You can keep on adding your answers, keep on adding more points. If you have a doubt whether this point can be added or not, you can show it to me, you can show it to sir. Okay? Any doubts? कुछ नहीं? हाँ बोलिए. Justice, one point. This point as a sub point you can write. Plato's view of justice. is more related to organization of the whole state. Plato's views of justice, this point has to come somewhere in between, I forgot. Plato's view of justice is more related to the organization of state, isn't it? Plato ka jo justice, if you talk about Plato's justice, he is not talking about right, wrong, criminal justice, anything. Plato's theory of justice is about organizing the whole society. The idea of justice which modern society experiences, that is different. For us, justice means either a balance between equality and liberty, or about how resources will be distributed, or about how simply crime and criminals will be punished. Basic justice, this is what justice we talk about now. But for Plato, justice is the whole idea of state. So Plato's theory of justice is, what did you write? Is more concerned with the organization of the state, where Aristotle simply focuses on, the redistributive and corrective nature. Headings. Aristotle simply focuses on the redistributive and corrective nature which is more in conformity with the needs of an actual society, So Plato's theory of justice is something, it is a theory of justice for a society which has not even started to exist yet. Okay? But Aristotle's justice is the immediate relief. It's like telling a patient, if you have a headache, let me fly you to New York and you will get the best treatment. But it will be the best treatment. And Aristotle is like, I have a Ceridon in my pocket, you can have it. It will take some longer time to cure the headache, but it will happen in India itself. So this is what Plato's theory of justice is very good for a society which has not started to exist as of yet. Aristotle's theory of justice is simply the very idea of justice which has continued till today, redistributive and corrective. Justice यही होता है ना? Reformatory and revolutionary है. If you talk about reformatory, जो slaves हैं, war prisoners, when they are caught, if they develop virtue, they can be made to a citizen. So it has reformative concept, revolutionary concept है. But Plato, you know this, Plato is a person who does not like revolution. He has a theory of revolution, but he wishes that theory never gets activated. It is not like Marx dreaming of revolution every single day. So there is no Aristotle's theory of revolution. You have Aristotle's views on revolution. Theory tab when you actually want it. ये keyword use करिएगा. Marx की theory of revolution because he actively supports the idea of revolution. Aristotle doesn't have a theory of revolution. He has views, and it hopes that those views never come to reality. Next question. Acha, this two questions we have discussed, and a sub part. This is I'm not making you write. Whenever there is a question on critique of Plato, now after 2.5 hours of discussion, you know that apart from the functional critique, first you start with Popper. Then you come Popper or Aristotle, and the other one follows. Aristotle and Popper only when you have exhausted each of their points. Then you bring in some other thinker, and then you bring in your own views. And since Plato is such an iconic thinker in Western tradition, even if there is a direct question, discuss the critique of Plato's views or Plato's theory of justice, it is your bounden duty in your concluding paragraph. If you are not able to provide a full defense, if it is a 200 words question or 250, 300 words question, if it is a 15 marker, if it is a 20 marker, it's your job to give one full paragraph on his defense. You cannot let Plato on the negative side. But even if it is a 150 words answer, your conclusion should include that why Plato's defense, attacks on Plato are not justified, because it is the whole idea of Platonic state is based on life of the individual. It is the idea of making the life of the individual virtuous. That is why he creates such a edifice. He is the first thinker to give equal rights to women. He does not accept slavery. So even in your conclusion, you have to see that while the attacks by Aristotle or Popper cannot be totally unjustified, Plato cannot be completely called a totalitarian or a fascist or a dictator, his state. Why? Because of these points. Never end your answer on Plato, Aristotle on a negative note. Same goes for Marx also, same goes for Hobbes also. These are iconic thinkers. They are not debatable. उनकी greatness पे कोई debate नहीं है. So an examiner will not tell you, question will not tell you. It is your completeness of the answer which will get reflected by this. So Plato को criticize अपने से, don't criticize Plato on your own. Popper, Aristotle, some other thinker, and by the time you have run out of thinkers, then you start giving the defense. Don't say कि I also feel Plato was wrong. ऐसा हुआ है. I have seen statements in my answer sheets. Ambedkar was very angry with Gandhi. Okay, who told you? Who told you कि they were angry? You use proper terms. Next line you write. Okay, we have done 2 full questions, 1 half discussion. Let's go for 1 more full question because we are running out of time. Okay. Simply, a landmark statement which has been repeated very many times by UPSC. UPSC is obsessed with this statement. State exists for the sake of good life. State exists for the sake of good life. State exists for the state of good life and not for the sake of life only. And not for the sake of life only. Okay. You can also see the same statement in the reverse tone. State comes in the for sake of the life and continues for the sake of good life. So both of these statements are because it's a Greek translation. So some books say this statement ki state exists for the sake of good life only and not for the sake of life only. Some books will say ki state comes into existence for the sake of life and continues for good life. Don't take tension on that. Both are translation of a Greek saying by Aristotle. Okay? So this is your question. No discuss, comment, explain, critically examine. This is the statement. Now what are you going to do? And this is a landmark statement. So your answer has to be really good to get good marks. The less known the statement is, the more space you have for experimentation. The more known the statement is, the examiner will expect ki this I have been asking since 93. He must answer this nicely. Otherwise, 2 number deke bhaga dunga. If it is a landmark statement, all history of human society is the history of class struggle. Marx, it's a landmark statement. So in this you have to write really well to get 6, 7. So how do you start this answer? Attempt. Imagine this is your UPSC mains scenario. Your career is hanging in the balance. What limit? 150. Let's always keep it 150 for now. Expanding is very easy. Trust me. Expanding is very easy for you. Making it concise, it is what is going to be difficult. Okay? Chalo, let's be thoda courageous, let's come out of the crease and play a bit. You can also introduce like this, कि unlike his political predecessor, Plato, the state is not a manufactured entity but a natural outcome of progress of human society. This statement को देखो, चलो Plato हटा दो. Let's not bring in Plato in this. Write down. For Aristotle, the state is the वो भी ये भी नहीं बोलते हैं. This is one trick. This is one very dangerous thing. कि they will not sometimes even tell you कि whose statement is this. So by the time your classes end, every year we give a compilation of statements made by famous thinkers. Or every year we keep updating it. Make sure that you get that compilation from us before you go for your mains exam. That's a ever increasing document. So because the UPSC has this a very bad habit. They will simply give a statement. Now they will let you know go free. Sometimes students guess the wrong thinker. Somebody else has made the statement and somebody else, you thought somebody else is there. Content sahi tha, but you named a different person and the whole theory went that side. So there is no remedy to this. Let's be brave about it. This can happen. But for Aristotle and Plato, when you see your notes, there is a whole list of statements, isn't it? We are trying to gather more and more of statements throughout the year. So we will provide you. That's a very painful task, but we are making sure that this does not happen to you in the exam hall. Everything that these fellows have said, somewhere down the line, we will get it in. Even if you have to read Plato's Republic and Aristotle's Polity live, the original version, we will do it. But this can happen. Be prepared for this. If that happens, then do some guessing ki what is the meaning of the statement and who could have said it. ठीक है? जैसे example लेते हैं कि the state will not, नहीं, the state is the hinders the hindrances. Now this is a statement made by T.H. Green. I know because I'm a political science teacher. But if you know Green, कि he is a person who is in love with the idea of welfare state. He believes that state is truly needed for real good life of the individual. Then you can make a guess कि among all the thinkers who are positive about the state, I have Mill on my hands, I have Bentham on my hands, I have T.H. Green, I have Lasky. But Lasky is somewhat ambivalent. Sometimes he is leftist, sometimes he is rightist. Mill was not that enthusiastic. Bentham was even lesser. So my guess goes to Green. That you have to do. This is where you get that you have to do. So, no teacher can help you, but we will give you the statements. हाँ? क्या? क्या चीज़? ये सोचने में ना ये होगा. See, that is why I am saying कि the questions which are going to be easy for you, the questions which I am making you write, that you have to write in very concise words, because you will face 30% of the paper where you will have absolutely no clue कि how to handle this. I gave example, last year there was a question, critically examine Macpherson's theory of democracy. Now most of the renowned teachers, we have started to teach Macpherson's theory of democracy in the last 2 years, and UPSC went 1 mile ahead and asked the critical examination. So the easier questions should be wrapped up very quickly, because you will need at least 10-15 minutes to plan for the unexpected ones. Does India have a strategic culture? This question is nowhere covered in any of the notes. Anybody who has attended Piyush's classes, he would form an idea कि rough idea में whatever I can write, but no ready-made matter exists for it. ठीक है? So ये mentality आपको रहना है कि you need a lot of time to think on some questions. So these sitter questions need to be wrapped up as quickly as possible. If your target is 8 minutes, wrap them up in 6 minutes. If you get time, come back to them, add some more lines, but you will need some time to frame certain questions. That is going to happen in the hall. For GS also it will happen. This is based on ground level experience. I am not talking based on talking with other students. I was a former aspirant, so I know this will happen. ठीक है? So what was the question? हाँ, बिल्कुल. वर्ल्ड लिमिट के अंदर कि दिस अगर आपको लग रहा इफ देयर इज अ स्टेट फॉर एग्जांपल लिबरलिज्म इज अ हॉज पॉज ऑफ आइडियाज. नाउ दिस इज अ statement where many thinkers can come in. In such scenarios, as much thinkers you can pump in, that is better. If हाँ तो प्लेटो से स्टार्ट कीजिए और एरिस्टोटल से लिंक कर दीजिए. नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Until unless you mention something which there is no negative marking in means. नंबर नहीं काटेगा कि ब्लैंक लिख दो. The worst thing you can get is a 0. नेगेटिव में नहीं जाओगे. बट हाँ, डोंट मेंशन समथिंग विच इज अ ब्लंडरस एरर. ब्लंडर एरर नहीं होना चाहिए. नहीं पता है तो जाने दीजिए, बट डोंट मेंशन समथिंग विच इज फैक्चुअली रॉन्ग. फॉर एग्जांपल द थ्योरी ऑफ सुपर स्ट्रक्चर वाज गिवन बाय मार्क्स ग्राम्स्की, तो उसको मार्क्स को कंट्रीब्यूट मत कर दो. आइडियल स्टेट को अरिस्टोटल से मत चिपका देना. मेजर ब्लंडर्स नहीं होने चाहिए. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट यू राइट. व्हाट वाज द क्वेश्चन, व्हाट इज द स्टेटमेंट. ठीक है. नाउ व्हाट वाज द बिगिनिंग पॉइंट ऑफ योर आंसर. For Aristotle, the state is a natural. For Aristotle, the state is not artificial or manufactured. For Aristotle, the state is not artificial or manufactured, but a natural consequence. But a natural consequence of growth of human society, growth of human civilization. But a natural consequence of the growth of human civilization which has already passed the stage of family and society. Which has already passed the stage of family and society. Now look at this sentence again. This is sort of heavy sentence. Otherwise, this year we have asked this question: the state is a natural and organic institution. Aristotle. This is a 150 marks question, and if I am not wrong, the first question of our first test series this year. So what have students done? They have talked about why the state is natural, why the state is organic. They have explained, and I have given them 5 to 6 marks. But I have then always commented कि first of all define why Aristotle is insisting the state is natural and organic. He says that it is natural, you explained it. He says that it is organic, you explained it. But there should be a paragraph at the start of the answer or at the end of the answer, ki what is the purpose of this stand, isn't it? When Plato decides to create an ideal state, The very simple logic is he could not find an alternative in all the existing choices which were already there. Sparta was not making him happy, Athens was not making him happy. So, a military state and a democracy both were not fulfilling his expectations. That is why he decides to go for an ideal state. Na? So, why is Aristotle focusing on proving the state as natural and organic? Why? Because the end idea here that he wants stability. He wants to go with what is practically possible. He has to convince the individual that state is the natural by default choice. Anything you want to create outside what is natural will not survive. Therefore, the statement anybody who can survive outside the state is either beast or god. As long as you are human, any kind of human, state is your only last resort. या तो भगवान या तो शैतान, either demon or god. Only then you can escape the very clutches of the state. Otherwise, you will always be dependent on the state. From baby to old person, you are dependent on the state. So, he wants to ensure, he wants to convince the individual not to be a revolutionary person. He wants stability and order. He wants it to be a golden mean. That's why he is giving this statement. So, what did you write? You get the idea. He don't just explain the statement verbally, one by one, literally. Explain the behind logic it. उसके पीछे का logic क्या है? ठीक है? Write down. What was the last line you wrote? See, so this is 3 paragraphs. Instead of explaining कि first it was family, diagram बनाते हैं आप लोग ना, first it is family, then society, then state. This simple sentence will tell कि हाँ, this is how human society has evolved. The state is the final outcome of a process which started long back. Next line you write. While he believes that the state is prior to the individual, the state is prior to the individual, this is in terms of relative importance. This is in terms of relative importance. This is in terms of relative importance, and not in chronological sense. Not in chronological sense. You get the meaning of this statement? He never says कि state was there, then family came, then the individual came. He is talking about most important is state, maybe then family, society, and then individual. This you have to make very clear कि the state is prior to the individual. This statement does not have a chronological connotation. It is a significance narrative कि who is more important. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि मैं आपसे पहले आया हूँ. I am not saying कि I was actually physically present before you. In terms of order of importance of the things in the universe, the state is more important than the society is more important than the family, and family is more important than the individual. This you have to, this fine line, that you understand the real meaning of this sentence, you have to show in your answer. Okay, next line you write. Okay. Plato's organic conception proves the Plato's organic conception of state. You know what is the organic conception of state of Plato? Hand cannot reside outside the body. Natural matlab natural. See, state is natural and organic. Natural means individual, family, society, state. ये natural growth. And organic matlab if I cut off the hand, it cannot. It is just a piece of meat. ये logic सर ने समझाया आप लोगों को. You know this? So यहाँ पे you need not explain it. You can simply write Plato's organic conception of state. You need not explain the whole theory because that will not get you any marks. You write the full paragraph or you simply write organic conception of state. It is the same thing. Examiner knows कि आप बात कर रहे हो about the hand and body thing. Clear है? So you are getting for 3-4 hours कि how am I saving words? How am I not wasting time in explaining things which are simply not asked? So that you have time for commentaries, you have time for functional arguments, you have time for a good conclusion. Continue. What was the last sentence? Necessity of state, Plato's organic conception of proves its necessity for not only protection, comma continuation comma continuation, but also full realization of life and its potential, of life and its potential. Next point, it is the state and participation in its politics. It is the state and participation in its politics. It is the state and participation in its politics which makes us human, since for Aristotle man is a social animal. Since for Aristotle man is a social animal. So if you are a social animal, you need a society. Okay? You have heard of animals who, if you put them in isolation, they eventually die. So man, we are like us. If you put us in isolation, we die. Our justice system is based on the idea life isolation, life imprisonment is a very bad thing. See, participation in politics may write down political and social animal. Write down since participation in politics, what is the sentence? Which makes the human a social animal, na? Write down makes the human a social and political animal. Okay? This is a very minor technical correction. You can do that, no problem. Okay? Next point. Of the multiple associations which exist, it is the state which is general, common, largest, and can be described as association of associations. This is a statement which he gives. The association of associations. See, there is a golden rule to it. If you can quote them verbatim as it is, that's good. Okay? But you can use them in passive sentence, you can use them in a slightly modified format to put your point. There will be no much major harm done. So, see, for example, Aristotle describes the state as association of associations. This is perfectly valid, but don't make any changes which will fundamentally alter the meaning of the statement. So, for example, history of all human society is history of class struggle. This is a statement by Marx. You can write Marx has described the whole history of human society as a history of conflict between classes. That is okay. But if you change any keyword, then the meaning gets altered, then that will be a problem. So, if you can quote them, Aristotle says, comma mein, the exact sentence, that is the first choice. But the way I am slightly transforming it, that is also okay. No. If you, as long as your statement conveys the true meaning which was there in the original statement, okay, then it is okay. Then they will not lose any mark. For example, you write, for Aristotle, the state is an institution which not only promotes life, but also promotes good life. Okay, no harm done. Not the first choice of your approach, but no harm done. If you are running out of time, in fact, when you run out in the exam hall, you will not be able to quote many statements verbatim, but you know them, you can use the keywords, it's okay. No major harm done. But better than not mentioning the statement itself. Perfect, accurate projection of the statement, then this modification of the statement, and no projection. So, best is, अगर नहीं याद आ रहा है तो मीनिंग लिख दीजिए प्लीज, पर स्टेटमेंट छोड़िएगा मत. नेवर क्विट एनी कंटेंट बिकॉज यू डोंट रिमेंबर द एग्जैक्ट स्टेटमेंट. ठीक है, ये क्लियर है ना? लिखना जरूर थोड़ा सा. ठीक है, सी यू विल नॉट बी राइटिंग परफेक्ट आंसर्स, यू जस्ट हैव टू राइट बेटर देन अदर्स. ये याद रखिएगा. So if others are not able to write, if you are able to mention half marks, 1 marks, you will snatch from the examiner. And trust me, it will matter. When PDF में control F, you will push the control F ना, it will matter. So you push as much content as you can. Inaccurate नहीं होना चाहिए और defamatory उस तरह का नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप accuse कर रहे हो कि Plato was a dictator. नहीं. Plato was fascist. There is a debate where some Western scholars have accused Plato of being fascist. This is one statement which is acceptable in the sheet. Plato was a fascist. Popper believes that. Here are the arguments. No, this is not correct. थोड़ा ये avoid करना है, ठीक है? Because Plato पे content will be same for all of you. Where will the examiner get an opportunity to give 77 marks and somebody 4 marks? This is where you get the idea. Here I have done very well in mains, but somehow I did not clear it, isn't it? ठीक है? Come back. What was the point? ठीक है? The state is a self-sufficing institution while the village and family are not. Next point, the state is a self-sufficing institution while the village and family are not. Self-sufficing institution. What do you mean by self-sufficing institution? You know that. Something which can sustain itself. Okay? The state is a self-sufficing institution while the village and family are not. Therefore, it precedes them in importance. Therefore, it precedes them in importance. Now, conclusion. Therefore, it precedes them in importance. Therefore, it is large. It is ahead of them in importance. Okay? It is ahead of them in importance. See, I think and tell you. So, sometimes grammatical mistakes can happen. Conclusion. Plato's emphasis on the worth of the state. Plato's emphasis on the worth of the state is centered on the worth of the individual, isn't it? Whatever he is creating, he is also focused on the individual himself. Okay? Is centered on the worth of the individual and it is but it is limited only to the best practicable or best possible state. You choose your words. Best practical or best practicable state it is limited only to the best practicable or best possible state and does not promote any abstract conception which would eventually threaten either the life or the good life of the individual. Either the life or the good life of the individual. So, you read this conclusion. We started from the statement, we discussed our points, but in our conclusion we proved that the state which he is talking about, which continues for the sake of life and for the sake of good life, that thing, it is always the practical state. He will never push, see, he believes that the state is very necessary for life's preservation and improvement, isn't it? But this thought is not going to be so extreme that he will touch a abstract idea. State ज़रूरी है, but वो state जो हो सकता है. He will not, for the sake of the good life or for the sake of life, he will not push the idea so much that the life of the individual itself comes to threat, under threat. So, you read the conclusion once again, कि eventually the state is necessary for the life and sake of good life. But which state? A state which is already possible. He will not create something out of the blue which will eventually end up sacrificing the individual himself. A blunder which Plato made. Plato was not happy with the existing alternatives. He creates a state which is for the sake of the individual, but that state becomes so idealistic that eventually the individual gets sacrificed as per Popper. So यही मिस्टेक होती है, आपको इतनी महंगी कार देने लगे, इतनी महंगी कार देने लगे कि कुछ मिला ही नहीं. ये होता है ना, when you push yourself, you push your objective too high, sometimes you end up hurting yourself. So this is what Plato stops short of. His state is necessary, but which state? The state which is possible and not at the cost of the individual. So your conclusion will come back to your opening statement. Do this. Look at your conclusion's last line. What is the last line of the conclusion? So you see, from where you started, you ended. This is how you tackle a question, a landmark statement question. You begin your answers, whatever examples you have, those examples one by one you support as concise as possible, but your conclusion should be landmark. मैंने प्लेटो बोला क्वेश्चन की शुरुआत में. अरे नहीं, प्लेटो कहाँ आ गया बीच में? प्लेटो कहीं मैंने प्लेटो लिख दिया क्या? अरे सॉरी, वो अरिस्टोटल है. सॉरी वो दिस इज ऑल, दिस होल कंक्लूजन इज अरिस्टोटल्स. वही मैं कहूँ कि प्लेटो हैज नथिंग टू डू विथ. डिड आई से प्लेटो? No, please change it to Aristotle. Online students also, please, the conclusion is for Aristotle. Plato नहीं है. It would have been a huge blunder. Can you show me what you have written? Last conclusion, na? Aristotle's emphasis on the work. Please, sorry. See, please remove Plato. Control F, find, replace. There is nowhere Plato is needed. Okay? You get the idea what I was trying to say now. Because I don't have a ready-made answer. I think and speak, so that happens. Okay? I'm really truly sorry for this technical mistake. Next question. Okay? Now, let's move to Aristotle. Let's discuss one question without writing it. Please, in that answer, everything is Aristotle. I'm very sorry for that mistake. So, it's 2:20. Well, I can drive a bit faster, no problem. I'm pretty sure the traffic will be slow. As Murphy's law says, when you need the roads to be clear of traffic, that it will be a traffic jam. So, I hope the traffic will be slow. हाँ. हाँ. क्या चीज़? हाँ तो ये कहाँ है कि प्लेटो से सही नहीं है? ये तो अरिस्टोटल का स्टेटमेंट है ना. सी, it is not mandatory to discuss Aristotle in Plato and Plato in Aristotle in every question. Only when it helps. यहाँ पे you are right, but bring in Plato, will it help you? वो सही है. Plato's का, if you can link with Plato, it's perfectly fine. But वो आपको extra marks नहीं दिलाएगा ना. It will not make you give extra marks. Link to thinkers only when you have a special point to prove. Otherwise, let them be in their coffins. ठीक है? Aristotle, see, there are Western thought is very divided कि Aristotle के अंदर idealist trend भी दिखता है. There are thinkers who actually think that. In fact, जब आप grammar of ये Sabine के views पढ़ेंगे, when you read about Sabine, तो he will say कि there is obviously there is a streak of idealism. Somebody who believes that the state is the highest association of all associations, he has certain idealistic trends. But the idea of idealism itself is थोड़ा. But see, in your answers, UPSC do not describe Plato as a idealist thinker, because see, Plato is a vast thinker. Obviously, Aristotle is a vast thinker. My God, okay. So Aristotle is a huge thinker. There would be obviously chapters where he has taken on an idealistic notion. But for UPSC, it is so simplified that we categorize him as mostly a practical thinker. Because when we study Aristotle in its own entirety, yes, you can see idealistic trends. But you are comparing him with a thinker who is already seen as the mark of idealism, Plato. So in Plato's comparison, Aristotle will always appear as a more practical version. UPSC level pe, for MA, BA, JNU, everything is different. UPSC, at level of UPSC, let's not describe him as an idealist thinker, because then you will have to write extra paragraph to defend it. If you simply write Aristotle is a practical thinker, good enough. Examiner knows that this is a part of routine answer. If you write Aristotle is a idealist thinker, then you have to divert. Highway se utar ke have to take your vehicle on the service road and explain one paragraph ki why are you saying this, because it's a critical statement. So avoid kariyega. हाँ, do you think Aristotle is an idealist thinker? If that kind of question comes in your exam, then God help you. तब क्या कर सकते हैं? Then, but that will not be asked. ठीक है? Let's discuss one more question. ठीक है? Aristotle describes revolution well. Aristotle describes revolution well, but does not want it. Aristotle describes revolution well, but does not want it. Write very quickly. Okay? As if your life depends on it, because mine certainly will do if you don't write quickly. Okay? For revolution for Aristotle, simply write revolution for Aristotle revolution for Aristotle is simply a transformation in the nature and organization of the state. A transformation in the nature and organization of the state. Now, this is a key word. Why am I not saying change or overthrow? Transformation can be small, gradual, it can be intense, violent, anything. Transformation is a neutral word. So, it is a transformation in the nature and organization of the state. Nature means from monarchy, democracy, that thing. Organization means how the power is distributed in the society. So, revolution is a transformation in the nature and organization of the state. Next line you write. Complete change of type of government, complete change of type of government and incremental changes in the nature, incremental changes in the nature, incremental changes in the nature, that is both big and small changes, that is both big and small changes, that is both big and small changes are revolution for him, are revolution for him. ठीक है. Next point you write. For Aristotle, the causes are, for Aristotle, the causes are first point, apart from mentioning regime specific causes, 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 he pays special focus on, he pays special focus on feeling of inequality, he pays special focus on feeling of inequality born out of B-O-R-N-E, born out of feeling of inequality born out of privilege and entitlement, born out of privilege and entitlement of the ruling classes, of the ruling classes. So, take a pause now, of the privilege and entitlement of the ruling classes. See, in the first statement, you don't see, this is a question. What is the question? Aristotle describes revolution well, but does not want it. So, you have to describe what his views on revolution are, and you also have to describe why doesn't he like it. Now, just his views on revolution would go around 250 words, because not only it talks about the nature of revolution, you are also to mention that for him revolution means very different from what it would mean for Marx or for common people like us. Revolution simply means a violent overthrow, but for this thinker it is also an incremental change. So, you have to mention this point. This is what makes him stand apart. Now, you have to talk about the whole nature of revolution, causes of revolution, and Sir must have told you that there are regime specific causes, why democracy will go into revolution, why polity will go into revolution, why tyranny will go into revolution. If you start writing regime specific causes, you will run out of word limit. Then you have to discuss about the whole ways why, how revolution can be stopped. So, way too much content. So, you choose ki my first priority should be to give the basic idea of what Aristotle thinks about revolution. So, I have to tell that he talks about transformation also, incremental changes also. This is how he stands apart from other thinkers of revolution, like Marx is there, Marx or Gramsci or Polozhentas, the other thinkers of revolution who have talked about violent means, from that you have to make Aristotle stand out. Why? Because he believes in incremental revolution as well. That's your first criteria. Then you talk about, he talks about the nature of change and type of government. That is also his unique point. Then the second point what we have mentioned is he mentions many causes of revolution, but you don't have the time to write regime specific causes. So you simply write, apart from mentioning regime specific causes, the most important cause is this feeling of inequality based on privilege and entitlement. So this, you gave the examiner 3 kinds of knowledge. You are aware that there is something which exists called regime specific causes. You don't have the liberty to explain them, but that's not your fault. 150 words per you cannot be expected, but you gave him the, by using the keyword, you told him, sir, if it was a 300 words question, I would have given you regime specific causes. We don't have the word limit, but I know the idea. So you create the impression that you know your stuff. Then the feeling of inequality, that is the key cause of revolution. But you also in the same sentence have described why is there a feeling of inequality, because there is something called privilege and entitlement of the ruling classes. So 3 paragraphs in 1 single sentence. This is the level you have to achieve. You get the point, isn't it? This sentence, if you are an evaluator and I give the answer to you, by this sentence you would know, okay, Shashank knows about there are regime specific causes, he knows about the issue of inequality, and he also knows why there was inequality in the society, because there was privilege and entitlement of the ruling classes. Now I don't have to explain this to you. This is a 150 words answer. My liability is not to explain everything. My liability is to cover the whole content. It's up to you. Do you have good faith on me to trust that I am not just naming them and I know them? As an examiner, if you talk about ideal state of the Plato in something question in idealism, I am assuming if you are using the ideal state, you know about it. That's the benefit of doubt you can snatch from the examiner. You mention the keyword in the correct bang on place, examiner will be compelled to give you marks, because it's not your fault, you cannot elaborate on it, it's the word limit. गागर में सागर आप भर रहे हो तो गलती आपकी नहीं है, यूपीएससी की है. ये आपको हावी होना है एग्जामिनर के ऊपर कि आप अच्छे मार्क्स छीन सकें. What I said in Hindi was, you have to be dominant on the examiner, you have to snatch away marks from him, he will not give you marks. You have to take marks where it does not exist. Next point you write. ठीक है? When you are in this type of questions, it's no, you see, until and unless the question itself demands criticism, you don't have to directly attack him. For example, Aristotle's theory of revolution, you have discussed everything. Then you remark on him, don't criticize. Aristotle's theory of revolution stands apart from the theory of revolution given by Marx. He is the only thinker who talks about incremental revolution in Western thought. That's it. Remark. Attack is only when it is asked for. Okay? And if attack is asked for, then defense is also indirectly asked for. ये general rule याद रखिएगा. You do not initiate an attack on thinker. If the question demands it, then it's your duty to provide a defense also. That shows your completeness of knowledge. जल्दी लिखो आगे. Right. I am running. I'm cutting it very thin. ठीक है? And I'm a 2-wheeler rider. Trust me. Delhi is not very safe and it's raining outside. So next time you ride. ठीक है? हाँ, गड्ढे भी हैं. नहीं, मेरे जिधर मैं जा रहा हूँ उधर गड्ढे नहीं हैं, उधर बसें हैं. ठीक है? So what did you write last? Come on. ठीक है? In spite, next line. But Aristotle does not actively promote revolution. But Aristotle does not actively promote revolution since it creates instability and chaos in a well-ordered state. But Aristotle does not promote revolution since it creates. But Aristotle does not actively promote revolution since it creates instability and chaos in a well-ordered state. His idea of revolution, his idea of revolution, now this is linking. His idea of revolution is a manifestation of the maxim of golden mean. His idea of revolution is a manifestation. Maxim समझते हैं ना, formula. His idea is a manifestation of the maxim of golden mean. Why it is golden mean ka maxim? Why? Write down. His idea of revolution is the maxim of is the manifestation of the maxim of golden mean, since he is balancing between completely conserving and completely overthrowing the social order. Since he is balancing between the completely conserving and completely overthrowing the social political order, ठीक है, या state लिख लो. Since he is balancing between completely conserving and completely overthrowing the state, ठीक है, the state लिख लीजिए, it's a better word. You get it? Incremental changes is the golden mean ना. If there are two values, complete revolution and complete preservation, so incremental changes is the only going to be golden mean na, isn't it? You want to have a full-time job, you want to be unemployed. What is the golden mean? Part-time job, half day. So this is what, slowly and slowly reduce the hours or slowly and slowly increase the hours. So this is exactly, see, his theory of revolution you have linked with his idea of golden mean. This single statement will set you miles apart other rivals, because others will simply talk about what is revolution, what are the causes of revolution, what are the methods, and oh my god, I'm out of word limit. But still you have some time, and now you can simply say he doesn't want revolution, or what do you write? Next paragraph. In fact, he suggests means to avoid revolution. In fact, he suggests means to avoid revolution. Among which, again, you don't have time to write down all the means. This is a 150 format. Agar if it is a 200 or 250 format, you will write all the means, all the causes also and all the means also, isn't it? To 200, 250, 300 word format hai, so automatically you will write all the causes. But if it is a 150 words answer, so among, what did you write? Among all the means he suggests, among all the means he suggests, among all the means which he suggests, okay? He lays special emphasis on from countering the discontent. He lays special emphasis from countering the discontent arising due to inequality, countering the discontent arising due to inequality, countering the discontent arising due to inequality, inequality. ठीक है, तो whatever discontent is coming because some people are feeling lesser than others, that you have to counter first. There are many checks and points, there are many remedies, but first thing what you check is there is should not be a discontent. Aristotle is like a doctor who first checks for the heartbeat. If there is no heartbeat, then the patient is gone. If there is discontent in the society, that is the first thing which you have to deal. You deal with the discontent, then other things can be dealt with. Okay? So he focuses on, what is the statement?
In fact, this is a means toward revolution among which he lays special emphasis on countering the discontent arising due to inequality.
And he also focuses on education of the constitution, and also focuses on education of the constitution and inculcation of discipline to maintain the constitution. लास्ट पैराग्राफ आपके लिखा हुआ है नोट्स में, ऐसा यहाँ पे, ठीक है, an inculcation of discipline to maintain the constitution. Conclusion. Aristotle is one of the most holistic thinkers of revolution. ये statement है. Aristotle is one of the most holistic thinkers of revolution. Now before I end this class, you tell me, why did I make this statement? Why is Aristotle the most holistic thinker of revolution? Status?
Because he said
तो होलिस्टिक वर्ड समझ रहे हैं आप लोग, होलिस्टिक विच इंक्लूड्स एवरीथिंग. Because he yes, 3 points what he said, and one thing more. He is the thinker who describes revolution for every form of government. Marx describes revolution for only the capitalist form of government, which exists as of now. Every thinker would have seen ki, this is how revolution will happen in this society. He is one thinker who gave a standard lab theory. Ki whatever the form of government, these are the reasons, this is how revolution will happen, and for every specific form of government, this is how you can stop it. Isn't he, you get the point. So what did you write? Huh. See, who says that he is narrow-minded? It's a statement by a thinker, na? Scholars say. See, he is narrow-minded because the scholars who have described him as narrow-minded, again, this should be more clarified by Sir, but see, they have described him as narrow-minded. Why? Because he doesn't want the revolution to happen. Not in the terms ki his coverage of the topic. We are saying him holistic because he has covered every aspect, and the aspects include formats of government, natures of government, causes, different format types, and methods to prevent them. I am saying holistic because how he has covered the topic. Those who criticize him as narrow-minded because they think that he is conservative, he wants to preserve the existing social order, he is not open enough to the merits of revolution itself. What you said is true, but wo philosophical sense mein hai. What I made the statement as holistic, this means he is the thinker who has most extensively spoken on the topic. For every type of revolution you can नहीं, holistic in the sense, देखो, see what we are, कि he is the most holistic theory. What is the first statement? One of the most holistic thinkers on revolution. Na? We are not saying he is the topmost. One of the most holistic thinkers. Again, it's a good point. In your answers, never make the sweeping statement. He is the best thinker on revolution. One of the most holistic thinkers. He is the one who has, I'm not saying he is the one of the best thinkers. Holistic is the word. Holistic matlab, he has spoken most on it. He may be narrow, see, how can he be narrow and holistic at the same time? Narrow because he is narrow to the idea of revolution itself. What good will come out of it? That's his being narrowness. He's not positive enough about revolution, but he has spoken a lot. Okay? There's a Hobbes. Hobbes might not give you actually liberty, but he will speak 15 pages on liberty. So he's a holistic thinker on liberty. Positive, negative is another thing. Have he spoken extensively on it? That's another. So he is one of the most holistic thinkers of the revolution, and next line will give you the answer. Why? Write down. Because he not only describes the causes, because not only he describes the causes, diverse causes of revolution, because he not only describes the diverse causes of revolution as per different types of government, but also entails detailed methods, to prevent them. Okay? And last statement, his focus on inequality as a cause, would be reflected by one of the greatest thinkers of his focus on inequality as a cause would be reflected, क्या लिखा आपने? By one of the greatest thinkers of revolution, Karl Marx, hundreds of years later. So see, now look at this last statement. This is a very dangerous but very rewarding statement. You make an error with this statement ki Aristotle and Marx are the same on revolution. No, they are not same. Among many of their views, there is one, last time we discussed this question, there is one thing on which they agree. last time we discussed ki Aristotle's theory, did we discuss or not? We discussed Plato's communism with Marx, no, sorry. So Aristotle also has given a theory of revolution, Marx also has given a theory of revolution. They have many points. Many times you will feel ki they come very close to each other. But on one thing, any student can write with confidence is that Marx and Aristotle both agree it is inequality which eventually leads to revolution. That inequality can have different background factors for Aristotle. That inequality can have different background factors for Marx. अगर कोई थर्ड थिंकर होता, मैं शशांक ऐसा थिंकर होता, तो मैं बोलता इंडियन सोसाइटी में इनइक्वालिटी क्या है? इट इज नॉट इकोनॉमिक इनइक्वालिटी, इट इज कास्ट. But what all three of us will agree, it is inequality which is the cause of revolution. There can be many causes of inequality itself, and that on that we can disagree. But what Aristotle said in the Greek era was thousands of years later, Marx picked up that if there is inequality, a revolution is waiting to happen, isn't it? So your conclusion is again bringing it to the present narrative. It is a, you see the conclusion, how it summarizes. It is holistic, he is holistic, but not the greatest. Greatest का target आपने किसको दिया? Marx को दिया. ठीक है? बोलिए. हाँ. See, compared to a violent overthrow where the state will come to an end. हाँ, so he was talking about the small peace changes also. ठीक है? See, but see, he says कि revolution is also small peace changes. So if there is inequality in the society, ठीक है? So if there is inequality in society and a certain section is feeling unequal, you will have to bring some small change to make them equal, to make them undissatisfied, and small incremental changes are not defined. He says कि anything short of violent overthrow. See, again, so no. The question is कि what he is saying, although this is again better answered by Piyush, I am attempting to answer this. I am already limiting myself. I am attempting to answer कि what you have said. You are saying कि small changes को भी he is not preferring. Let's put a logical scenario कि there is a threat of violent revolution because of society. You guys in this section, you are not happy with your situation, you are feeling unequal. There is a huge threat of violence in the society. You guys are the people who are imposing your will on them, you are the majority. Now there are two scenarios. Either we give them some concessions, a small change which will eventually do away with the threat of revolution and the state will survive, or there is a violent revolution. In this scenario, Aristotle will prefer, isn't it? He will want to see his primal objective is not against the revolution, his primal objective is survival of the state. So given a choice between a violent overthrow and a small peace change, Aristotle will naturally go for a small peace change. Again, this is my explanation. See, you are pushing an idea of linking, ठीक है? That idea in one sentence you can push to the examiner कि since he is not completely denying conservatism, he is not saying that the state should always be preserved, but at the same time he is also not going for violent revolution. So somewhere his idea of change is in between. We are pushing this point. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि हम लोग पूरी तरह सही हैं. And देखो सबसे बड़ी बात मैं लास्ट टाइम मैंने आपको बोला था. Yes, we might be pushing the concepts a certain bit in your answers, but to prove your linking of concepts, you have to write this statement. हाँ, if you have any doubt कि सर शशांक सर ने this point he has written, and I'm philosophically not in agreement with it. Dr. Piyush Tove को you catch him कि sir शशांक sir made this statement, I don't agree with him. Either he will say कि हाँ I was wrong, or he will say कि no you are wrong. But my idea is to how to push the concepts in one concise manner. आप कह सकते हैं सही हो सकता है, but he seems to disagree. See, eventually he finds the golden mean because complete revolution भी नहीं चाहिए, but complete conservation भी नहीं चाहिए. तो incremental changes तो देने पड़ेंगे आपको. ठीक है? We'll next class. I am really pushing myself now. So yeah. So next class we will do most probably on Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau. The syllabus will be announced. It will be on Tuesday. What I expect from you guys is that you be well prepared with the thinkers. We will announce the syllabus 1 or 2 days before so that we get more things. ठीक है? चलो, I could do this only this much. Let's meet next week.